Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who don't know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategic or compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades. We do take into account losses, so for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video we're going to be looking at MMTLP and the 1.7 million shares held by Vanguard. We're also going to be looking at Meta Materials and the potential risk of bankruptcy for them going forward, and also finishing off by having a look at ticker symbol SERV, also known as SERV Robotics, which is currently up approximately 168% on the week, and also one of our calls in the Discord. So before we get started, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So first of all, we can see here a headline from Stock Market News that Tom Lee has stated that he thinks the S&P 500 will remain flat throughout August, but sees a lot of opportunity in small caps. So let's see how that plays out. In terms of the start of the market, we can see a market open. The Dow Jones opened more than 400 as the US rebounded from the worst day since 2022, which was yesterday. There was also news with regard to GDP, and US GDP was up 2.8%. Versus an estimated 2% and a previous 1.4%. So good news there overall for the general living standards in the US. And finally, in terms of how the market finished, from a CNBC, we can see here that the Dow Jones has fallen from its highs and lost some of its earlier gains as investors are now looking to sell some of the big tech names. Let's start by having a look at the risk for Meta Materials in terms of bankruptcy. I'm going to share a post by Whiskier, who's posted here. In terms of Meta Materials, a reminder that they sold NTS for a mere $10 million without the approval of shareholders, which is extremely significant. Now this site had 11 acres, 105,000 square foot of manufacturing space and equipment, and alone that would be worth just much more. So giving away the American dollars, and obviously I'm going to say the international currency as well, based in terms of banknote contracts and IP, leaving us with no ability to continue as a business, is certainly an example of significant potential criminality. So what we can see in terms of the buyer is called securingindustry.com. That's their website, and they have posted very proudly that they've agreed to buy nanotech. And in their post we can see they've stated they finalized the acquisition of the Canadian group Meta Materials authentication operations centered around the nanotech security corporations for around $10 million, which is certainly a steal. And the takeover price represents the fire sale of the assets, given that Meta Materials, which has run into considerable difficulties of late, paid around $73 million for NSC and its nano-optic based security features just 3 years ago. So I think that is the bargain of the century there for securingindustry.com. Now if we have a look at the earlier proud post from Meta Materials, going back to October the 5th, 2020, here we can see that they state here, we completed the acquisition of nanotech and the de-risking our commercialization and manufacturing of Meta Materials. They've confirmed the acreage here as well, and we can see obviously they are basically stripping away the assets very significantly. And what Whiskey has also posted, was the board involved in intentional harm to Meta Materials while doing everything possible to enact a deliberate path of destruction, similar to what has been laid out before in a recently filed lawsuit. So again, some DD there for people to look at. Chairman Jack Harding is also refusing to address offers and household shareholders. So we can see an article here shared from July 22nd, 2024, and it states a bankruptcy trustee joins debt holders of Glorified to pursue alleged saboteurs. So something quite significant there and nefarious in terms of the potential background of what may be happening in Meta Materials. So I'd like to now share a post from the Wall Street Whistleblower, who's posted with regard to MMTLP, tagging in Edward Jones, and states the largest broker dealer in America hires FINRA's top lawyer and the head of enforcement that oversaw the MMTLP, GME and AMC debacles, yet the Edward Jones CEO also simultaneously serves on the board of directors for both FINRA and the Federal Reserve of St. Louis. So strong implications here of conflicts of interest. So the question here is, what kind of Mississauga cousin kissing is this? Remember during the pandemic when several heads of the Federal Reserve's banks got caught with insider trading, but nothing happened. So let's have a look at a profile here of Penny Partington that has been shared from FINRA. She states here, industry governor of a large firm representative and the managing partner of Edward Jones, governor since 2022. She's also identified her professional experience here. Let's have a look at the links, and we can see in terms of education and current board, we can see board member, Federal Bank of St. Louis, but also connections here to FINRA that have also been raised. And we can also see here in terms of stlouisfed.org, Penny Pennington, also here's the managing partner of Edward Jones St. Louis, and this is for a date up to 31st of December 2025. And finally, tongue-in-cheek image here from Wall Street whistleblower who stated, Edward Jones, CEO, Penny Partington. I also sit on the Federal Reserve Board at St. Louis. And remember the insider trading scandal at the US Federal Reserve last year? No, I don't remember it as well. So again, something that should not be happening there. So let's now have a look at the holding from Vanguard. So what Kestrel has posted here is in terms of the image that we can see here in terms of NextBridge Hydrocarbon shares, it looks like Vanguard's total stock market index fund is still holding a pile of MMTLP, and we can see this is quite significant, 1.763 million shares. And in a follow-up post, it also states here Vanguard's extended market index fund is also holding just over 900,000 shares of MMTLP, and again we can see that here, 902,467 shares. And finally, I'm going to finish up by having a look at ticker symbol SERV. So this was a call in our weekly watch list, also known as SERV Robotics, and we've stated here this is a high risk stock. Recently disclosed that there was an NVIDIA investment. So if you have a look at a recent video of mine from the 19th of July, again this was also featured, and since then it's had a tremendous run up. And if we have a look at the chart here, it's currently today just up in excess of 41%, and I think over the previous 5 days it's also up in excess of 180%. So great news here for SERV Robotics. And if we have a look at the profile in terms of a reminder, this is a company headquartered in California, Silicon Valley. It was originally part of a food delivery company, and it spun off from the Uber Technologies. So what do? They are basically a company involved in AI powered low emissions sidewalk delivery robots that serve people in public spaces. So obviously they're involved also in last minute food deliveries in cities. And it is one thing I will say, it is a high risk stock. So in terms of the news shared in the Discord and in the previous video, there was an ownership declared from NVIDIA, and this is what is currently causing the spike for SERV. And we can see here at one point the stock has also been up over 233%, and this is an AI related stock, so certainly one that we have been keeping an eye on. If you would like to get a copy of our weekly watch list where we look at stocks such as SERV and many others, details are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.